record. Okay, so thank you guys for being here. I appreciate you being patient with my tech issues. So welcome to the call. It's Tuesday, April 29th, and we are going to watch this motivational video first, and then we'll get into the meat of the call afterwards. So it's 11 minutes long, so it's a really good video, so hang in there.
Mayday, mayday, mayday. Bravo 1 signals to Eddie. Emergency dispatch. We have, as humans, we have something that no animal has. And what it's called is imagination. And what imagination allows you to do, it allows you to see it before it actually happens. What I mean by that is I need you to go 10 years into the future, 20 years into the future, and I need you to see yourself actually becoming the person you want to be. You got to live in the forward. Block the whole world out. Put some music on, some classical music, right? The piano if you need to. I don't know what you need to listen to, but I want you to take 30 minutes. Go in the closet. Go in the basement. Go to the library. Go into a room alone. I want you to take 30 minutes, and I want you to imagine. I want you to take 30 minutes, and I want you to live in the forward. See, the problem is I'm talking to some of you guys. The problem that you're having is you're living in the future and you living in the present. And you keep talking about the mistakes. You keep talking about the past. You keep talking about your trials. You keep talking about your situation. And I want you to know that everybody that's ever been great, everybody has had an obstacle to overcome. They've had a barrier that they had to climb. There's no individual who's ever reached success and he didn't have to go through an obstacle or a barrier to get there. I need you to live in the future. I need you to go in your future every single day. I need you to go in your future. I need you to see what you're going to be. Listen to me. What you are to be, you are now becoming. And so you got to use your imagination. And your imagination has to take you beyond the pain. Your imagination has to take you beyond the trouble. Your imagination has to take you to the next level. We had to see ourselves there long before it happened. The second tool is we got to embrace faith. I have to have faith to believe that the thing that I see 10 years from now, 20 years from now, that one day that thing is going to be successful. When I was homeless at 16, I could have quit. When I was homeless, I could have given up. There are many days that I thought about committing suicide, but I said to myself, just keep imagining, keep thinking, keep seeing what you're not now, but what you're going to be. Sometimes it's going to be hard. Sometimes you're going to look all around you and nowhere do you see success. Nowhere do you see anything that remotely looks like success, but you got to embrace. Number two, you got to embrace the faith. You got to believe that although it's not happening right now, if you keep pressing, if you keep pushing, guess what? One day is going to be your day. That's right. I need you to say that with me. One day is going to be your day. Embrace the faith. You got to be able to see it and believe it, that when there's no evidence around you, when there's no evidence around you, when you got pain in your life, when you're tired, you feel like giving up, and you feel like quitting. When you look around you, you don't see anything that looks anything like success. You got to embrace the faith and believe that one day gonna be my day. But one day can't be your day if you give up. If you quit, no day will ever be your day. I want you to fail forward. That's right, I said it, fail forward. I want you to get to a place in your life that every mistake you make, every setback you get, right, every obstacle that you don't overcome, every barrier you can't climb. I don't want you to give up, but I want you to fail forward. You got to learn from your mistakes. That every mistake you make, you fail a class, get back up and try again. You lose a job, get back up and try again. You put all your money in investment, get back and try it again. If you start a business and it don't work, don't stop, don't quit. Fail forward. Learn from each and every one of your mistakes. Don't quit, don't give up. Listen to me. Don't quit. Don't give up. If it gets hard, you tired, not around yourself. You double tired if you have to, but you hold on. But I want you to know you will never reach your goal. You will never reach your dreams if you don't use your imagination. So when you fail that class, don't drop it. When you fail that class, don't just stop going. You go into the end of that class. You go into the end of that class, and you go into the end of that class, and you go into the end of that class, because I want you to know something. When you start that class over the next semester, you won't be starting from scratch. You won't be starting from the bottom, because you were all the way up here when you quit. And all you got to do is go a little further and a little further. So keep reaching, keep climbing. But it started with a vision. Fear is not real. The only place that fear can exist is in our thoughts of the future. It is a product of our imagination, causing us to fear things that do not at present and may not ever exist. Fear is a choice. Only those who risk going too far can possibly find out how far one can go. I want your dream to be so clear that when you wake up in the morning, all you got to do is step in your dream. And the first step for me was seeing something I was not before I was. You can do it. Where you are is temporary. You will not be there for the rest of your life. I don't care what happens in your life. I don't care what it looks like. I don't care where you are. Every single day you wake up, if you're going to have energy, if you're going to have passion, if you're going to have drive, every day you wake up, you got to start with that vision. This is a mentality. Like, you got to live this. You got to eat this. You got every single thing you do is not a cute thing. It is a way of life. It's got to possess everything you do. It's got to own you. There's no reason to have a plan B because of distraction plan A. I want to see how far I can go. I want to see what I can accomplish. I want to see what I can do, what I can be, what I can have. I want to see. I don't want to see what I think I can do. I don't want to see what I think is possible. I want to see what my life would look like if I didn't count the cost, if I was willing to go further than anybody else was willing to do.
One problem, the violin. Because to do what you do, you've got to be a world-class violinist. Because if you don't, when you're moving around and being thrown around and still trying to play, you end up doing what you did, and that's missing loads of notes. And there were times when it sounded to me like a bunch of rats being strangled. Seriously, that bad. But you're not good enough, I don't think, to get away with flying through the air and trying to play the violin at the same time.
I don't think what you're doing right now is enough to fill a theater in Vegas.
That much movement made you not as great as you were,
Anytime there's a change to be made, you have to realize that there's somewhere else you want to be. And I wanted basically to be happy.
You can't do anything without faith. It's impossible to accomplish anything without faith. So I need you to believe there is still time. As long as there's breath in your nostrils, as long as you can wake up in the morning, first step before anybody else in the world believes it is you have to believe it. So I need you to believe.
Because if you're willing to go through all the battle you got to go through to get to where you want to get, who's got the right to stop you? I mean, maybe some of you guys got something you never finished, something you really want to do, something you never said to somebody, something. and you're told no, even after you pay your dues, who's got the right to tell you that? Who? Nobody. It's your right to listen to your gut. It ain't nobody's right to say no after you earn the right to be where you want to be and do what you want to do.
You got to do what you was called to do. You got to do what you were born to do. You got to do what works for you, because if you do what works for you, you're going to blow up. It's in your DNA. It's who you are.
Even you get knocked down, you get back up, you get back up, you get back up, and you continue to throw shit against the wall.
You have a vision, but listen to me. You are where you are because of who you are. And if you're going to get somewhere else, you're going to have to change something.
All right. Let me switch over to the PowerPoint. Okay. So I know that video may have been like a little pixelated, or the sound might have been off for you guys. So I will post a link to the video on YouTube in our group so you guys can see it. I've watched several of that guy's videos. I don't know how you say his name, Matuz, I think is Matuz is how you say it. But his videos do something to me that literally, like, I feel changed from watching them. Or it really strikes a chord deep in me that I don't know if it's just like a human nature kind of thing, but his videos are really powerful. So if you guys ever are needing like something inspirational, I highly, highly recommend his channel. He just has like a ton of really, really good videos like that. So after our assignment in our Bombshell Bootcamp group yesterday, and when I posted that other video about fear, I wanted to kind of touch on that. And this is going to be more, not so much of a technical kind of training call. This is more kind of like the fluffy stuff, I guess. But I really feel like it's important to touch on this kind of stuff because you'll never go anywhere in this business if you don't have the heart and the vision and you're able to connect with people on a level other than fitness or nutrition. It's such a deeper thing than that. I mean, we all know in our own like health and weight loss and fitness goals that it's so much more emotional than anybody else realizes unless they're in it. I mean, I remember when I was in the middle of my journey and I'd probably lost like 15 or 20 pounds and I was really stuck and I couldn't get past this really bad plateau. And I remember just looking in the mirror and looking at my body postpartum, and I had stretch marks and my stomach was all stretched out and my hips were stretched out, and I'd never weighed that much in my life and I had already lost some weight, but it was so depressing to me, and I just remember feeling and literally like saying to myself, like, this is my reality. Like, this is, like, okay, this is what my body's going to look like. And I have a beautiful, perfect, healthy child that I need to be thankful for. And I need to stop focusing so much on, my looks. And honestly, it was really tough. I mean, I didn't stop eating healthy or working out. I mean, I kept going, but I remember just really having this feeling of like, okay, like this is it, and it's okay. And I'm never gonna be, a size 2, and I'm never gonna have a flat stomach again. And my hips are always gonna be stretched out like this, and my butt's always gonna be this big. And it was hard. So, any of you guys that are there or have been there, that it is so much more emotional than anybody will say. And even our challenge groups, we touch on those things a little bit. And that's why I always encourage everyone to be vulnerable, because it's really, really important. So in this call, I wanted to talk about fear, vision, and belief, because I feel like they're very, very, very important aspects to this business that aren't necessarily talked about very often. And obviously they're touched on, with personal development and encouraging, everyone to do their personal development, because they'll help kind of address these issues. So, but I kind of wanted to just talk about it because I feel like it's really important. So, we saw the video. So this is what we're going to talk about: fear and why you should embrace it, creating a vision. We're going to talk about affirmations and what they are and how to write them. And then I'm going to give you guys a little bit of an assignment. It's not like homework. I mean, you don't have to do it if you don't want to do it, but I would highly encourage you to do it because I feel like it will help you grow personally. So, you guys don't see the PowerPoint? Sorry. Do you see it now? Anybody? Okay. Sorry. Okay, so fear and why you should embrace it. So I like this little acronym. If you read on the left-hand side, the FEAR, fear, the first thing you should do is face it. And you need to come up with an explanation or sit and feel what is the fear that is holding you back from losing weight? What is the fear from holding you back in your business? What's holding you back from talking to people? What's holding you back from getting Success Club every single month? What's holding you back? Just what is holding you back? So you need to identify what the fear is. Is it fear of rejection? Is it fear of success? Is it because you don't feel like you deserve it? Is it you're afraid to talk to people? You're afraid to talk about the business opportunity? What is it? The E is to explore it. Why do you feel that way? What emotional reason, what is behind the fear? What did something happen to you that caused you to develop this fear? We all have been through some shit, I'm sure. And I'm sure there are a lot of things that we all don't know about each other and about our past that can obviously affect who we are as people now. And so I feel like a lot of why we have fears is because of things that have happened in our past or situations that things we've gone through that have caused us to develop a fear, because it's a normal human response to like negative situations to have a fear, or from continued exposure to things as a child or as a teenager or whatever, that will cause you to develop just, a fear of something. So you need to identify that fear and why you feel that way and accept it. So how can you change it? And there may be things that you cannot change. Like, you can't change the economy. You can't change whether or not people want to lose weight. You can't change the weather. You can't change the cost of the challenge packs. You can't change how expensive Shakeology is. You have to accept that there are things that you cannot change. But if it's something like you're afraid of being rejected, or you are afraid of success, or you're afraid of being a leader, or you're afraid of having money, you can use those fears as like your fuel. You're afraid of pursuing the business because your family, you're worried about your family's approval and they're not going to agree with what you're doing. So use those things as fuel for you to push. Like, there are going to be times in this business and in your life in general that you're going to be faced with a fear that you have to go through it. You can't go around it. You can't push it aside. It's going to be there and you're going to have to go through it. So that's your response. So you're going to come up with a plan of action as far as how you're going to tackle that particular fear. And like I said, I mean, you guys, I'm always, always, always here for you. So if there's something, I would encourage you guys to share within our group so that we can all kind of help each other, because there may be something that somebody is struggling with that somebody else is also struggling with, but they didn't want to share. So I feel like by being vulnerable with each other, we can help strengthen each other, because we all have different strengths and different weaknesses that we can, help each other in those areas that need to be addressed. So I really like this quote, and I've heard something similar to it, that you block your dream when you allow your fear to grow bigger than your faith. So every single time you allow that fear to come in and to take over, you are basically shutting down your dreams, and you're not allowing yourself to grow, nor are you allowing yourself to ever achieve those dreams if you continue to allow fear to hold you back, period. Like, I can't even tell you how many times I have been pushed outside my comfort zone in the last almost year that I've been a coach. And every single time I get to that point where I'm at a wall and I'm frustrated and I'm scared and I don't know how I'm going to tackle whatever the thing is that I'm going through, it always goes back to my why. That's why I encourage you guys to really, really sit with yourself and figure out what the deep, deep meaning is as far as why you became a coach. I mean, it may be reasons that you haven't even talked to me about, let alone shared with the group. So that's why it's really, really, really crucial to be very clear with yourself about why you're doing it. I mean, we all like money, so obviously that's a motivating factor, but I mean, it needs to be something that is going to be so deep in your core that you cannot sleep at night because that is what you're thinking about, that you can't stop doing what you're doing because of that reason. So obviously, mine is my family and Emmy, and being able to be home and being able to have financial freedom and raise my family and my children the way that I want to do it. And so there are times at night when I've made no money for the week and I'm lying in bed stressing because I have groceries I have to buy, or I have to pay the life insurance or the auto insurance, or I need to put gas in my car or whatever it is. And instead of being stressed, instead of being scared, I use that as, it's like no excuses. Like, I have to make a sale tomorrow because I have to be able to put food on my table. I don't use it as that is my motivation. So whatever those things that are scary, to you guys, you need to write them down, let yourself, feel those fears, and then let's sit together and figure out a plan of action so that we can get those things out of the way. Because as long as fear is sitting in your lap, you're not going to be going anywhere. You're just going to be staying where you are, running in circles, wasting your time and your energy. And you're going to say to me that this business doesn't work. And it does work because there's proof. Lindsay's proof, Brigitte Linford's proof, Scotty's proof, all those top coaches, they're all proof that this business does work. And there's nothing different about them that we don't have. We all have it. It's just everyone has different levels of drive. So that's my little spiel about fear, because it's going to always be a part of your life. So you need to embrace it and learn how to work with it to your advantage. Having a vision. So your vision needs to be clear, like crystal clear. When you close your eyes at night, you need to be able to see exactly where you're going and what your life is going to look like in, 2 years or 5 years or 10 years or whatever your time frame is for, achieving that success. You need to, this is an exercise that I do every single night, and I try to do it every morning while I'm laying in bed, like half awake, and Emmy's climbing all over me, and I'm trying to focus. But your vision needs to be so clear that you can use your 5 senses to make that vision tangible. So what does it look like? What does it smell like, taste like? How does it feel? Envision these scenarios daily. So when you think about success, or you think about where you want to be in 5 years, what does that look like? What kind of house are you living in? What kind of car are you driving? Where are your kids going to school? Is your husband or your spouse or significant other working? Are they home with you? Do you have debt? Are you traveling? Are you wearing, your goal size of your clothes? Just whatever your vision is for your life, what you want, your dream, it needs to be so clear to you that you literally can smell the aroma of, fresh flowers in your house, or you can smell the ocean because you live on the beach, or you can feel, the salt in the air from the ocean breeze. You need to be able to, it needs to be so clear to you that you literally, when you close your eyes, you can feel it. You are there. You know what you're wearing, what you look like, down to, mine is so clear that I know what I'm wearing. I know what my hair looks like. I know what, my accessories look like. I know what my house looks like. Everything that I want, when I close my eyes, I can see it all. So this actually really helps me fall asleep at night too. Because I'm not thinking about I have a play date tomorrow, and I got to run to the grocery store, and I need to work out, and I need to drink my shake, and I have to prepare this, and I have to do so many posts on Facebook, and because I have a hard time settling down at night. So this is actually a really good exercise for me to just envision where I want to be and what my life is going to look like in a few years. So I would highly encourage you guys to get in the habit of doing this. It's really, really helped me get clear about what I need to do on a daily basis. And it helps me on days that I don't want to do anything, because I have those days, and everybody has those days. Lindsay even has those days. I was just talking to her last week, and she has those days too. So, obviously for her at this point, she's allowed to have those days because she can afford to have those days. So I try not to have them too often because I am still in the hustle. So another really good way to do this is to create a vision board, and that's part of your guys' assignment that I want you to do for fun. It's actually a really fun assignment. Oprah.com has a really, really great vision board tool. So you can they have this application that you basically just it's on your computer on the internet, and you can drag pictures in and type things in, and then it'll save it for you, and you can put it on your computer as your background, or screenshot it and save it to your phone or whatever. But it really helps to be able to look and have something visual. to see, not just like written down like, I want to travel, I want to pay off my credit cards, I want to, you know, be making $5,000 a week or whatever. It really helps to be able to have something tangible that you can look at and you can see, and, you know, and I want it to be clear and concise, not like I just want to travel the world. I want it to be like, I want to go to Maui next summer, and then the summer after that, I want to go to, you know, England or whatever. Just whatever your thing is, it needs to be clear, not vague. The clearer it is, the easier it will be for you to put out into the universe and for the universe to make it happen. So very, very clear, crystal clear. So keep that in mind when you're doing it. And sometimes it can take a while. Sometimes you can do one and, or even, you know, just your vision now, you might not really know. So I think it's a really good exercise to get in the habit of doing that, because as you do it more often, you will be able to, like break it down much more clearly. And then you'll know as far as where your business needs to be in order for you to have these things that you're envisioning. Okay, so an affirmation. Affirmations are positive daily things that you will say to yourself to help reprogram your mind from the negative self-talk that you've had for years. For this to work effectively, you need to repeat positive statements of a desirable outcome like a mantra on a daily basis a few times per day. Positive daily affirmations help to redirect your values, formulate your goals for success, or simply help you to boost your self-confidence. They can be used to improve areas such as wealth, success, health, relationships, or self-esteem. So my sister is actually a huge believer in affirmations, and she's been doing them for a long time. And my mom, both my parents do them, but my sister is like a pro. Like, she's got it down. She literally has, like, we tease her all the time, and we're all envious, like, of her life, because she literally will say something and she makes it happen. Like, it literally happens. She will speak something out into the universe and, you know, it might not happen right away, but like a few months later, an opportunity will open up and it's like her dream job. Or like, she just posted on Facebook last week that she's been looking for something where she can kind of teach abroad. And she's traveled all over the world. She's gone to Europe, to China, to Thailand, just on these really cool like trips where she just wants to travel and she wants to be able to do like humanitarian work. And these opportunities just present themselves to her all the time. So she's going to Peru in 6 weeks, and she's going to be gone for 4 months, and she's teaching English. And she's not the kind of flashy person. So she's super happy to just like go and literally have like nothing there, but she wants to feel like she's making a difference in the world. And that's her way of doing it. So she just, things like this happen all the time. Somebody knows somebody and they call her and they offer a job somewhere. She travels, you know, and she gets her travels. She literally gets things paid for right and left. I mean, we always tease her that she could seriously live on like $10 a month. Like, she's crazy. So she is a huge believer in affirmations. So I am starting to incorporate this. I've always kind of known what they are, but I haven't really been super like religious about doing it. So I wanted to do this with you guys because I felt like it would be really helpful in our businesses. And I know a lot, if not, you know, the majority of really successful people do practice daily affirmations. So these are some tips for writing affirmations. So I could read all of this, or you guys can read it. But basically, you want to write them yourself. You don't want to just go on and Google, you know, an affirmation. It needs to obviously be clear and concise for you. So you want to write them yourselves. If you couple them with clearly defined written goals and applied faith, their power is even stronger. You want to make sure you feel them. and they need to have some kind of emotional charge when you're saying them. So the emotional dimension of each affirmation should never be overlooked. When you can additionally feel your affirmation, its total impact increases tremendously. For instance, if your affirmation is, I am a successful public speaker, then visualize how it will be like to be receiving a standing ovation from a hall full of people. So these kind of the vision boards and the visualization goes hand in hand with your affirmations. So as you're saying your affirmations, I like to close my eyes and envision in my head a picture of what the affirmation is. You want to make them in the present tense, so you should state your positive daily affirmations in the present tense. That is, use I am rather than I will be. Saying things in the present tense will reprogram your subconscious mind to believe that what you affirm is already a fact. In other words, you have no doubt in your mind that what you desire is a given and not just a wish that may or may not happen. This is probably the most important part of writing affirmations, I would say. They have to be right now, because if you're saying, oh, next year I'm going to do this, next year I'm going to be an elite coach, next year, it has to be now. You have to, in order for the universe to make it happen and for you to believe that it is going to happen, it has to be in present tense. They have to be positive. Another important tip in formulating your affirmations is to write them in a positive state. A negative statement cannot work. For instance, you should say, I am rich, rather than I am not poor. So always focus on the positive and not the negative. Make positive daily affirmations short and clear, because you want to be able to memorize them. You don't want something that you're just like reading off a piece of paper. You want to be able to memorize it, and you want to be able to feel it and not be like spouting off this whole long thing that takes you forever to memorize. So, because your experience will create the conditions that allow affirmations to manifest, word the affirmations carefully to make them crystal clear. State your real innermost desires and articulate your most expansive sense of self. Affirmations based on narrow self-concept deliver results that fall short, cause suffering, and further diminish the sense of self. Increase your faith. Of course, the more faith you have in them, the more effective your affirmations will be. The desires and dreams that your mind can conceive bear seeds of possibility, and possibilities ultimately become realities. So as you're writing these affirmations, you have to believe them, and you have to, if you don't believe it, then there's no point in doing it. So you have to know, while your dreams and goals may seem lofty, the more that you practice the affirmations and the more that you believe and say them over and over and over, the more likely they will become tangible. You want to say them daily with conviction. Some experts recommend saying positive daily affirmations silently. They say that silent affirmations are more effective than spoken statements because they entail more intensity of concentration and resonate throughout your entire body instead of in your surroundings. Others recommend saying them out loud because you can also use your facial expression or hand gestures for more conviction. For whatever it is, positive daily affirmations made in a half-hearted manner are not going to be as effective as the ones you make with deliberate intention. So, like I said, don't half-ass it. Don't just say, I hope that I'm going to lose 10 pounds. You say, I weigh ABC, whatever your goal is, and it feels amazing and blah, blah, blah. So you're saying it and meaning it like it is right now. You need to have the intention behind it is almost as important as the affirmation itself. So the intention needs to be there. Lastly, you want to follow up with the actions. You need to put some actions so that you can lay the ground for the manifestation. For instance, affirming that you will win the lottery can only be possible when you buy a ticket. I've been saying this for I don't even know how many years. I'm like, man, the lottery is, $75 million or whatever. I don't even know what it is right now, but I should go play the lottery. And then I never buy a ticket. Joe tells me this all the time. He's like crazy about buying lottery tickets. And he's like, well, you can't ever win unless you buy one. So it's the same thing. This is really important as far as where your business is concerned. So you can't just say, I want to be a top coach. I want to be making $2,000 a week. I want to be in Success Club 10. But then you don't ever talk about it, or you don't ever do it. Or I want to lose 50 pounds, but you're not following your meal plan, or you're not drinking your Shakeology, or you're not doing your workouts. Like, you have to have some kind of action. You can't just say, I'm going to be a millionaire and lay in your bed all day and not do anything. Obviously, it's not going to happen. I mean, even if you were to do that and still not do anything, but maybe buy a lottery ticket, you may win the lottery because it's at least some kind of action. But you need to have some kind of consistent behavior towards whatever the affirmation or the goal is. If you don't have any action behind it, nothing is going to happen. So just like you can't say, I'm going to be in Success Club every single month, but then you never talk about challenge pack sales. You never talk about challenge groups. You don't even talk about your own personal journey. Like, that's part of this business, is sharing your story. It is the most important part of this business. Sharing and not selling things. I mean, if people say to me all the time, I don't want to sell things. I don't want to be salesy. Well, you're not salesy if you're talking about your own personal experience, because people care more about how it's affecting you, not just, oh, come buy T25. Well, have you done T25? No. Well, then how can you really talk about it, and how can you sell it to me and answer my questions if you've never even done it? So think about it. You have to be able to have some kind of action. So just understand that that's part of it. Remind yourself daily. This is like the key. So you need to be able to do this daily. You need to write it down, put it on your mirror in your bathroom, put a sticky note in your car, write it out on your phone and save it as your background or on the screensaver of your computer. Put it on your fridge, put it in your workout area. Like, I'm not even kidding you. You want to put it in like 10 places so that every single time, or wherever your dedicated like workplaces. So if you have a desk in an office area, make sure for sure you're putting one there, because that's where your work is happening. So you want to be reminded daily as you're working why you're doing it. So I haven't done it yet, but I've been probably for like 3 weeks been trying to like find time to do this, because Summit's coming up. And I've been pretty good on my meal plan. I've been really good on my workouts. There are some days I want to just eat ice cream and not do anything. And for some reason, I can't remember in those moments that I have Summit coming up in like, I don't know, less than 2 months. So I plan on posting these like sayings or little quotes or whatever all over my house. Like, Joe is probably going to think I'm crazy. And he's probably going to be annoyed by it, but I don't care, because I need to remind myself, like, while I'm working out, I need there to be like something right in front of my face telling me to do one more rep, to finish that set, to do that one last squat when I don't want to do it, to push myself, because I have to be in a bathing suit in like, I don't even know, not that long. With like 10,000 other fit people. So I'm gonna be so pissed at myself then if I like am not on top of my game now. So I recommend doing something like that and putting them in places. They don't have to be big, posters, just little tiny, you can use like Post-it notes in places that you're gonna see often, so that you can be reminded of why it doesn't necessarily have to be about the business. It can be about your own weight loss. It can be about if you're struggling with nutrition, or if you're struggling with talking to people, or whatever. So just little notes to remind yourself. because we all get busy and we forget. And so they need to be in a visible location, like on a wall or in front of a mirror, or save them on a PowerPoint to be used as a screensaver. So here are some examples of affirmations. Positive daily affirmations for self-confidence. I am sure of my ability to do whatever is necessary to improve my life. I feel good about the way I do my job. I love myself and accept myself for who I am. Positive daily affirmations for abundance. All the things I want and need come to me. I am an abundant person. I create abundance in all that I say and do. And here are 3 for success. I am successful. Everything I do turns into success. I attract positive-minded people to me, and I draw all things positive to myself. So those are some examples. I think those are kind of lame ones, personally. I would go a little bit more in depth when you're writing them, but it's a good place to start if you've never written an affirmation before. And like I said, you can always, go back and revise them as they change and as your goals change. So here's your assignment. I want you to go on Oprah.com, or if you're like one of those people that has a ton of magazines and you like to cut things out and glue them on poster board, you can do that too. The Oprah.com one is just good because you obviously have access to the whole internet and you don't have to print or cut anything out. So you can just copy and paste. I did it and I'm going to do another one, but it was actually a really fun little exercise. So Oprah.com, I think you can either search on the website or I can find it and I'll post it in our group, the actual link. So, and then I also want you to write out some affirmations and put them in multiple places you will see throughout the day. I want you to memorize them and start saying them every morning when you get up and every night when you go to bed. And just try it for a couple weeks and see how it affects your attitude and how it, affects your business and just how it affects you as a person in just going about your daily life. So I really feel like affirmations are a really positive thing that you can do, and it's free, and it will also just help you in your personal development and growth, which you all should be doing every single day. So I think that's it for tonight. So I'm going to go ahead and unmute you guys, and then if anybody has questions, let me stop recording.